In Hadestown, a song can change your fate. The 2019 Tony Award winner for Best Musical still one of Broadway's hottest tickets. And now Grammy winner Ani DiFranco has stepped into the role of Persephone. It's her Broadway debut, but she's got a long history with Hadestown. She actually originated the role of Persephone on the original concept album way back in 2010.
I don't know about you boys, but if you're like me, then hanging around this old manhole is bringing you down. 6 feet under, getting under your skin. Cabin fever is setting in.
You know, now it's a fully formed character within a fully formed story, which is much different than, you know, the initial recording. So that was more of, it's just way deeper now what I have to work with and what I have to pursue. And I'm finding I'm massaging it into my own version, you know, as I go.
Well, I can give you what it is you crave. A little something from the good old days. I got the wind right here in a jar. I got the rain on tap at the bar.
It's so inspiring to be surrounded by all these badasses. And I mean, not just the leads, but, you know, the fates and the workers and the swing players that can dip into any number of 9 roles and positions and know that harmony and that mark to hit and that movement at that, and get called in at a moment's notice and slay. They're all amazing. Right up until the last moment, I was thinking, can I even get my mojo on in this dress with poofy sleeves? Can I even be in my skin, you know, or Persephone's skin? You know, again, you're just surrounded by people who are rising to the occasion every night, so you just go ahead and do that too.